got it. All right, Jerry, thank you very much. Here with head football coach Mark Helfrich and coach 44-21 victory today over Utah. Back on track with a really solid game, a really solid effort by your team out there today in this victory.
That's a good word. Solid. Didn't get off to a great start really in any phase. Our guys didn't blink though. Came out and played a much more complete second half. Had a chance to score in all three phases almost. Would like to have caught a couple of those catched. That's a Coos Bay word. Caught a couple of those interceptions, but you know, that's a good football team. That's a good football team. They've had a lot of games kind of like this that were just back and forth, and we were able to overcome some things that I think, you know, we contributed to our own demise there in the first half.
Got the ball to start the game offensively, had to punt it away, and your defense set the tone with Terrence Mitchell's interception, great field position, and offense cashed it in, but defense really set the tone out there. Huge
Huge series of events there, and then kind of the complementary nature of it later with the kickoff return was big, and then we stopped them on defense again and kind of made it comfortable. But yeah, I thought in the second quarter we had a ton of chances to end the game, not end the game, but make it a little bit different. But happy we battled.
You talked about the first half and the offense. It was kind of hit and miss at times and that type of deal. And knew coming in that Utah was a blitzing type of team that creates a lot of sacks, a lot of problems. Was there a little bit of a struggle adjusting to that at first, or just for the fact that it's tough to prepare for it?
Well, must have been, you know, and we've got to coach them better because we again had a bunch of things that we thought were pretty dialed up, and we've got to coach that better. And that starts with me. Again, we're sitting here complaining about what was it, a 44-14 game, and then our, you know, a lot of our scout guys were in there and got some really valuable time, and that's kind of where we are. But not happy with, you know, it's very similar to last week. We were just talking about that with the guys. We've got a lot of stuff that we can get better at, but a lot more fun to tweak and talk about improvement when you're winning.
Yeah, and when things go like that, I thought you mentioned it earlier. Team really resilient, made plays when they needed to, and those answers that you talked about. You know, Utah closed at 10-7 and then 17-14, but the pass to Addison in the first half, huge play, and then the kickoff return.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a huge answer. We were, you know, set up okay from a time standpoint, and probably could have got another drive going there. We got a 3 and out there really late in the first half, but a huge play. That was a great play by Marcus, a reaction to one of those zone blitzes that you're talking about.
8 plays, 93 yards to go up 30-14. That touchdown pass to Johnny Munn to create that breathing room of more than just 2 scores was a key too. Again, if you look at a drive, lots of great drives during the game, that would be one I think you could really dial in on.
Definitely, you know, I think that I thought their quarterback played really well in you know, under those circumstances, and to put a little pressure on them and try to make them a little bit more one-dimensional, or play on a little bit more of a downhill kind of mindset was big.
Defense consistent throughout. They played a great game. Drez Anderson really never got off against you, either in kickoff returns, which I thought kickoff coverage was great today, but also just controlling the line of scrimmage, making them one dimension, trying to force Schultz to beat you, and then the control of Drez Anderson. The defense was great from beginning to end.
No question, and that was something that you know, we challenged those guys with, of obviously from last week trying to get off the field, and I don't know exactly what they were, you know, third down wise, but we made them at least earn it a lot differently. I know we were not good on third down from an offensive standpoint, but yeah, great effort by the defense, you know, and I'm really happy they responded.
And no turnovers, no short field that you gave them.
which is big. Yeah, our guy, you know, again, going in last week, we basically turned over 3 times in the red zone, and yeah, 0 turnovers is the right number.
9-1, 6-1 in league. You go home tonight and have a chance to sit back and watch Stanford, USC. Things out of your control. All you control is Arizona next week. A very good Arizona team who got upset today by Washington State, but tough place to play regardless of what happened today with them.
No question, and their team, you know, have been playing a lot better as of late. Their quarterback really got going the last couple weeks from what we've seen kind of from afar. But yeah, we'll enjoy this one tonight and then start getting ready for them tomorrow.
Okay, Coach, thanks for your time. Have a great week this next week, and congratulations on the victory today.
Thanks, Jordan.
All right, Jerry, back up to you.
Questions in here for Coach?
Fair to say that the game plan was at least in hopes of keeping Marcus from having to run too much?
It is fair to say that. Yes. Yeah, you know, I think anytime you have a quote unquote limitation of any kind, you're going to game plan for it. You know, if you're not a great cover corner, you're going to get some help for the corner. But I thought he played really well, threw the ball away a couple times, which is something that I was trying to hammer to him. You know, from improvement standpoint, he's always a guy that's going to go down with the ship almost and trying to make a play, and I think the couple of decisions he made to throw it away, and he was fighting himself on the one that kind of slipped out of his hand. But again, we'll take that guy every day, every minute. We'll go to battle with him anytime.
Questions?
All right.
Right in your middle. Hold on, wait for the microphone, please.
Marcus Mariota's up now to over 350 pass attempts without an interception. How much can be said just about there not being even a tip drill where a receiver just sort of lost the ball, and the things that the whole team is doing as a unit to keep that streak going?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I almost want him to throw it one just to start a game, just lob it up to the free safety, because it's one of those. It's just bizarre. I mean, it's inexplicable that you know, there were a couple tip balls last week and a couple tip balls this week that for whatever reason have found the turf, and it's phenomenal. And again, that's an 11-man deal. The stuff that we did in the passing game, you know, better this week was because we were running a little bit better routes, a little bit sharper cuts. We're catching the ball for the most part, and he threw it away a couple times when, you know, he should have. And so yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. So,
Aaron?
Coach, to your right, rear. It appeared that Utah did a lot of emphasis on keeping Marcus from running. They had an end or a linebacker out there on the zone read, the inside read, or inside zone read. So is that the reason why he didn't run, or could he have run if the guy would have crashed down?
well, they ran a couple times. That was, I think, part of their plan, and then part of our plan, maybe just butt heads of how that played out. They're in general, they're a team that does that. They kind of sit the end is kind of a technique that people talk about, that they try to keep it. The strength of their defense is obviously their interior, and then number one, how big is that dude, by the way? But they're very talented up front and did a great job with their plan.
But if there's an obvious hole there, he is well enough to take off and run. Correct.
Am I under oath, or what? I don't understand that. I mean, he ran a few times
today. Driving me nuts. Can the man run if he has to?
Next question. Yes.
Okay. Right behind you, Kevin.
Rushing attack started off a little bit slow, then you guys got going later in the second half. What changed throughout the ball game in the second half to get the rushing attack going, and how impressive was Byron Marshall today?
Yeah, Byron had some big, kind of runs after contact yards. Yeah, we were not very good from an execution standpoint. Part of that, again, you've got to tip your cap to their front. They're really good. They moved just how kind of their menu of zone blitzes and pressures that we thought were coming came, and we've got to coach our X block in their O a little bit better.
Mark, were you prepared for Scholes, or did you kind of not know what to expect with him, with replacing at the end there?
Well, there's there's a little bit of film on him. He played quite a bit against, who was it, SC? I think he played a lot in that game, and we had seen the tape on him. Obviously, we didn't know that was going to happen until I don't think anybody else did, which was late last night. But I thought he played really well under the circumstances, and we had to try to force him to win the game, and our guys executed a little bit better.
In the back, Warren.
Mark, Utah beats Stanford. Ducks have a tough time with Stanford.
Is that called the transitive property? The A, right? Is it A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C?
Yeah, okay.
So now we're undefeated again.
Exactly. I'm done.
Like your style.
What's the drastic difference between those two teams?
Human beings. There's every week everybody wants to come out, and our guys have put themselves in the position of, if we don't win 92-0, and every guy on our team has whatever he's put, DeAnthony should have 150 yards, and Marcus should throw for 400 yards, and this guy should have 200 yards rushing, and that guy should have 200. If that doesn't happen, oh my gosh, the world's going to come to an end. These are all humans, and me, I'm a human, and I'll make a million mistakes, and we have guys that make mistakes. it's somewhere in between. I don't know what the greatest thing in the history of the world and us having to blow up the program because we lost one game. And the reality of those two poles is somewhere. That was a dumb answer.
Way in the back, hiding behind the camera.
Can you talk about the team's resiliency and its ability to answer after Utah scored?
Yeah, I thought our guys. Again, I love this team. These guys are tough dudes, physically and mentally. And the big score, not only before halftime, but then in the second half, to the kickoff return was huge. There was a little momentum. Probably can't say about anything, but I thought we had them stopped on that first drive of the second half, and our guys kept battling. They didn't blink, and our leaders led and kept playing.
Right here.
How much of the rushing attack being slow, I guess, in the beginning is maybe tied to the limitations or circumstances that exist right now?
67%. I don't know. I mean, it's part of that is a game plan deal. Part of that is Utah. Utah's a good football team. Those guys have played a lot of people tough, and for whatever reason, the record isn't where I'm sure they want it or what you would anticipate from a team with that much resolve and that much talent.
Would you see your own rushing attack being limited because of Marcus's limitations?
We have to find a way to do whatever we can. We don't get an excuse for anything.
Any more? Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.